Ladies and gentlemen, can IEBC as currently constituted preside over free, fair, verifiable and credible elections in 2027?
Na hii inasema kwa Kiingereza, IEBC as presently constituted cannot preside over a free and fair election. It must be disbanded and be restructured in a dialogue of the people of Kenya. Na ukikataa tutakutana na tutakanyagana. Wapwani oriti huru, oriti huru.
Do you think 2027 general election will be different from the 2022 election? Will be different from 2017 election? Will be different from 2013 election? Do you think it will be different from the 2007 general election? I'm asking that question because IEBC has made it very clear that on the polling day, anybody found taking a photo or a video inside a polling booth will be fined 1 million Kenya shillings or 3 years in imprisonment. In short, IEBC is telling you that once you are in that polling booth, you are not allowed to take photo. This is how we normally vote. You walk into a polling station. You line up if there's a line there. Then you will arrive at the polling hall, mostly in a classroom or something like that. Then you are issued with a ballot paper. Then once you are issued with that ballot paper, it's you and that ballot paper. Then you go into that polling booth. Unajaza, you fill it. Then you drop it. Why should IEBC stop you from recording how you voted? Because it's between you and the ballot paper and the box. And it's your choice, which is private, which is personal. And of course, as a Kenyan, the ballot box, ballot paper, and even the IEBC officials are your money. Why should they say that it's illegal? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why IEBC is actually effecting those penalties and measures. Ladies and gentlemen, I tend to think that 2027 election is not going to be very easy. It's going to be very difficult because the young people and their phones, I don't think if it's possible to separate them. But IEBC is saying, try jail. But for me, I think it's intended to achieve certain objectives, which I want to reveal to you guys in this video. Before I do that, in case you are watching the channel for the first time, please do not hesitate to click that subscribe button, because what we do on this channel is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find in any other place. So the best thing for you, click that subscribe button so that anytime you produce a video, you'll be notified. Ladies and gentlemen, number one, I'm reading or I'm seeing some rigging schemes being activated. And who are the targets? The targets are the young people. Why the young people? In this country, if you walk in the streets of Nairobi, you walk in the streets of Eldoret, you walk in the streets of Kisumu, there's a high chance that you'll find a Gen Z with his phone or her phone recording something. The truth of the matter is that Gen Zs have made a promise that if they will lose this election, they will lose with their votes. But they will not lose because someone is rigging. And they're even developing systems to counter the rigging.
So, what if the government shuts down the internet in 2027 and rigs itself back in? This is exactly the situation we've addressed with the latest feature in the People's IEBC. But before I show you what that feature is, if you don't know, the People's IEBC is a system that will ensure no one rigs the election come 2027. That will allow any Kenyan to upload the picture of the presidential results form, the Form 34A, and our AI models will analyze those pictures, extract the values, and verify if the form is real, and then tally the results and display them in a public web page for everyone to keep track of and see. All these, of course, secured by the Cardano blockchain. But if the internet gets shut down, then our work, all of it, is rendered useless. And so to safeguard against that, we have developed a new feature called Results Kwaka Bambi. These will allow our agents, and by the way, if you're not registered as a People's IEBC agent, go to peoplesiebc.org and register as a People's IEBC agent. So let me show you how it works. For example, I am a verified People's IEBC agent. So I will text the word report to a short code, and then as you can see, it asks me for the polling station ID. I will enter the polling station ID, and then it asks me now for the votes cast. I'll say 350. It asks me for the candidates vote. So for Edwin Sifuna, I'll say 343. For Eli Dowalo, I will say 5. For William Ruto, I will say 0. And then the rejected votes, I'll say 2. And then as you can see, it sends me the tally of what it has accumulated from the other agents across Kenya, so that I can also just understand what's happening. And yeah, that way, even if the internet gets shut down, everyone can keep track of what's happening and how the tallies are adding up to ensure no one rigs and gets away with it. So this agent, I have built it using the knowledge of building AI agents, and I teach people how to do this even if you don't have a technical background.
Probably that's why these schemes are being implemented. Because if the agencies are saying that they are going to have their own ways of tallying, probably in their minds, they'll ask their members to scan, record, and then send to their system. This is what these guys are saying no to. That's number one. Number two, someone somewhere is foreseeing a situation where someone somewhere will reject the results. What happens if you are not satisfied with the results of IEBC? You go to court legally. If you go to court, what will they require? If you go to court, what they will require is evidence. Evidence. So the fear is IEBC don't want people to record with their phones. They are saying only agents will be allowed. Remember, these agents can be compromised so that they don't record. A party supporter who is there listening to the announcement, because the elections are actually supposed to end at the polling station. That is the most critical part. So you vote, then in the evening, the votes are counted at the polling station. So if an agent is bought, they cannot record. But it's not very possible to buy others. So these guys would want to record. So someone has realized, someone will go to court. The evidence are normally these photos, these videos. For example, if you declare that person A has garnered 200 votes in this polling station, the other one 100, and is captured on camera, or agency captures it, how will you defend that in court without evidence if a different results will be portrayed? The reason why Azimio failed in their petition was because of this same thing. They didn't have evidence, not because of anything. Someone went and bought the agents where the agents were, and in most cases, they didn't have agents. So they could not capture evidence. So I'm seeing rigging schemes and someone preempting court case petition. So he doesn't want evidence. Number three, and this is something which should worry Kenyans. Someone is out to gauge the reactions of Kenyans over this. Someone wants to make Kenyans angry, especially the Gen Zs. Because according to Gen Zs, they want to protect their votes. And one way of protecting their votes is to turn up in large numbers and then record. There is an organ in this country called NIS. So probably they are testing and now they are gauging. What are the agencies saying about this? It was implemented in Berenop. It worked. Now let us try and implement it in Emurua Dikir, because Emurua Dikir is high voltage politics there. And number 4, I think this is a test run. Someone wants to test whether this can be effective or not. They want to figure out how the agencies can react, whether it would be important. Because if it's not important to stop people from taking a phone, from taking photos, then they just announce that, there's nothing wrong with taking photos, because probably they have test run it and they've realized that even if people were to take photos, still it's possible to rig. So in my view, it could be also a strategy to lock out people. People are going to be scared. The young people will be scared to go with the polling stations with their phones, because they'll fear that if you are found with your phone, probably you'll be arrested. If you're arrested, you'll be locked in. 1 million, if you don't have that, then maybe 3 years in jail. And most people will get scared. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the law says. Maybe the lawyers on this platform can tell us. But I think if the opposition is serious about the 2027 general election, then one of the wars they should start waging right now is the war on phone and photography. Because tomorrow, people will be told, I remember when was 2022, people were told, unapiga kura, then you are not even allowed to stay in the compound. Unatoka nje of the school compound. I mean, which law is that? People are supposed to vote. Then you witness the counting. Nothing is wrong with that. I don't know what you think. But until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.